And I can see these even on a wall as a gallery wall. Alright, this video is in response to a video I did when I created this painting. It's just a small painting, but it was done with neutral colors, mixed media. It's a piece of almost like paper fabric and some molding paste. And I was asked if I would do some additional paintings that were neutral with adding collage and collage type things. So I have several canvases of different sizes where I've kind of just thrown some things down. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see where I've posted some of the initial ideas, but some of these are blank. I've just put a layer of paint on some of these grays, whites. This one has some of these little beads. I'll have to get the name of these beads that I glued on here, and it's string, so this is pretty strongly glued on here with glue. And then some, that I've kind of just put some ideas down. I did one, and since I did another video with this is like a medium on here, very thick medium. I did not take the time to show doing this background. All of them already have initial paint on them. So I thought I would start with just showing you how I pull out some items to start playing with. Let me push the canvases up and let me pull this out. This is just a tray of assorted items. Here's some sheer leaves. Let me see if I can get, here's my glove. See if I can show you. It's a sheer leaf. Very pretty. Don't know if I'm going to use all these. Here's just a ribbon, burlap ribbon that I could use. This is some Tyvek, and I do have a video on how to make the Tyvek. This is just some copy paper. So this is paper that I've handmade with dots and done copy paper on top of. This is just tissue paper with a real pretty light writing on it. Here's some scribble on copy paper. Here's some more tissue paper. Here's some music from a book. This is just from the internet. Some scribble. As long as the whole piece of art is not made from this, if it's something embedded, then it's okay to use some of the things that you pull from the internet. Let's see. This is some heavy textured paper I get from a local craft store. This is a piece of drawing paper where I've done some painting on with some gold. Here's another piece. Probably won't use that. I'm trying to keep this very neutral. Here is a piece of book paper where I've put some items on the top. Threw that in my pile. Some stuff from a book. Graph paper. So that's that pile. But I usually put on a tray when I'm working on a project like this so I can move it around. I can pull it in when I want and move it away. This is just a box. I have some feathers in here. Might use a frame or book paper. Get this off of either the internet, eBay, Etsy, just different places. Here's a ticket, old ticket. little grocery list. There's a box of that is going to be fun to root through. Also, here is some more of the ribbon. Here's some different type of binding or string that can be used. This is like a ticket. This is some cheesecloth. I make jewelry from time to time, so I still have some pieces of that. This is from caulking. I have a video where I show how to make the different pieces from caulking. This is from some like molding paste that's dried. This is some from pounded metal. That's also in a video. Tissue paper. This is glue. This is dried glue. I got some black glue that I may use too. Let's see. This is a little space where I put some more dried glue. Let me put this piece of paper out so some of this you can see. I have some more dried glue. Feather. This is that cheesecloth that has been painted. Some more dried glue. This is some tie back that's been made into a bead. This is some modeling clay that has dried and I've painted on it. Here's another piece. They're like little buttons. This is a piece of clay that has not been painted yet. Some more dry glue and another button, another piece of tie back that looks like a little, like a, I don't know, it's like a button. I do have a box of these washers. So I have a box of some more pounded metal, but I have washers of different sizes if I want to add some of that decoration into the art. Here's one, and I believe I have a video on this where I have rusted out the washer to give that a different look. So I don't do a lot of mixed media, but I do love to do it just to when I want to relax. So I do have a lot of pieces. That will be fun to see what I can come up with today. Then over here is another tray of larger items. This is the ribbon, like a burlap ribbon. This is a bigger piece. These are all tissue papers that I get, like maybe one of them is called mulberry paper. This is a cheesecloth. This is just regular tissue. Here's a beautiful piece that I've used in several places, and this is really fun because you can pull this and it gets into all different shapes. So I actually still have the ticket on here. It GPC papers. Of course, I got it at a local art store. Here's some more. It's like a paper. I love this one. I don't have a lot left of this, but I love this. This is very thick paper. More tissue paper. This is like more of a mulberry type paper, different sheets of that. So let's see what we can do and come up with and have fun with by just using our creativity. Now what I'm going to be using is a soft gel gloss, a matte medium if it's a lighter piece. How you judge if it's something heavy that you're putting down, I'll even use a thicker paste that I'll have to get. If it's something very light, then you don't have to. But you're going to, want to layer this. For instance, this one right here, this is very thin paper. So a very thin medium to glue this down is all you need. Paper, you might use something a tad thicker. And then the anything that is, this is a thicker piece of paper with paint on it. The consistency of the gel that you want to use is going to be heavier. So let's get started with, I don't know where this is going to take me. I have some paints. I may use different paints. I even have some little, I use these in some of my resin pieces or my jewelry. So for the most of this is going to be using the collage. Some of it I may grab some paints, maybe some metallics, a little copper. I don't know. I don't know where this is going to take me. So let's just get started and see where we go with this. I think I'm going to start this one. I threw some papers on the top, but it's always a good idea to kind of get a visual. And if you forget what you had, you can, or you think you're going to, and you don't want to recreate, you can always take a picture of it and go back and look, or you can just create as you go. It's up to you. But I'm going to start with the gloss soft gel for this. And the main thing is you want to get this glued down. Of course, we can come back later on some of this and re-add. But I think on this one, I wanted to scrunch up the tissue paper. So I actually have some creases in here as opposed to having it flat. I want it bunched up to look like it was crinkled and bunched. So this is like glue, and it will dry. I can always go back with black paint and touch it up if for some reason I don't like what has happened. Now this can also use this gel, and I'm going to have to put something down on the top of this to glue this all down. I'm a very messy painter. I normally will not have a clean table because I do a lot of splattering of paints and things. So that's kind of just the way I roll. I love being that way because I like being spontaneous and sporadic. Okay, that's lying down pretty well. Another trick that you can do is take a piece of, this is like parchment paper, and I have 2 rollers that I can use. And just, it's the hard roller, not the soft one. And because this is canvas, you can put something flat underneath it. We're going to be doing this a couple times. I'm using my hand underneath. All right. That looks pretty good. Let's see. What else do we think we want to have? Kind of liking, that's like a piece that has some drawings on it from like an architect drawing. Here's some music. that might look kind of cute. I'm liking this tissue paper. There's some writing and a leaf. I think what we'll do is put the leaf down. I like the leaf. Now, gluing down the stem will be something we'll have to hold down. Might have to put a little glue on that. I think next, I'm going to put that piece. Geometric drawing. Take some of the music. And maybe even some of that writing. I like this. So, I don't know at this point if I'm going to come back and put, this is kind of pretty. So I may come back and add that. That's the glue. That's the hot glue, and then it was painted on the top. So that's kind of pretty. The other option would be to come back a little later with a string of some sort, but you'll see me put that on some of the paintings. So here's the first one, and I think I'm going to put this to the side, knowing that that glue, I may be putting that glue on later. So here's the first one. And I didn't even use my other tray over here of goodies, so we're going to have to bring that in. Okay, so this one is a piece, it's a canvas that underneath had some, I put paint in a tube bottle, and I don't know if you can see, but there is a texture. So there is already a swirl texture in there, which is fun. So on this one, I saw this piece of paper and I kind of just laid it down. So I'm going to do something like add a piece of paper. The background is gray. So maybe some writing. And you know there's different ways you can tear your paper. So if you tear it like this, you're going to have that edge. If I tore it the other way, the edge is down here. So by tearing it both ways, you're going to have a contrast. Depends on what you want and what you like. So I like a mixture. So I think I'm going to pull that out. There's the contrast here between the white paper and the gray and the beiges. Might use that. The feather is not speaking to me there. Yeah, I like that. So here's a piece of paper that has the dots on it. Polka dots. That's a little heavy. What I seem to be going for is this pattern here is very feminine, and this piece of paper has like a feminine border around the B there. These two pieces have like a feminine look. This just has more, gives it some texture. So I had something laid on here and it's now gone, but that's what I mean. If you're going to forget, which is perfectly okay with me. That's interesting. It's a smaller dots. Let's see what else. You might even, I'll say this for something else, but you could even put a picture frame where you put some things behind it. Let's see. Here's some of the metal. Here's just a washer. Well, that's kind of cute. Here is one of the tie-back beads. Of course, this has got some blues in it. It's blue stones. That's very feminine looking. But it still needs something. I'm thinking that is, I don't know. Maybe if I took the burlap away, we'd cut a piece of this and just see what I think. Won't know until you actually see it. Got a lot of the dots going on there. I like that. So the burlap maybe will wait. I was also thinking of a piece of that, but I'm liking what I have here because it's everything is still very neutral. So far, that's what I like. So let's start with the B piece in the bottom. I'm going to still use the medium gel. I think we're okay there. I like this piece here. That's mute. I like the gold, more of a gold. So these are all very neutral colors. If I wanted that word Paris to show, which I might move, I don't know, I may end up being covered over anyway, but just for now, see if I can keep it. This is looking cute. I don't know if I'm going to be putting a string over this or not. Don't know that yet. I like this right here. And then I'm going to have to use something stronger. I'm going to build up some glue there. And it might, some of that glue will show, but see, that's the texture, and that I'm okay with that. So I do have a video that shows how to make this tie-back button or bead. Yep, I'm liking this one. This one's cute. For now, let's see where I go from there. But there's number 2. These are great teacher gifts. They're great for gifts for friends, great for selling. Okay, here's one where I thought about using the picture frame. And I'd already kind of started a design. And this is just a canvas that had been painted. I'm going to have to fix the back, painted on, and I didn't like it. And you can even see some of the colors coming through. I could have put another coat, but I like that, so I'm okay with that. This is that piece that the strings, you can pull more strings out of that if you want. And this is a piece of paper that's out of a dictionary. And these are, looks like different mummies and ancient. Of course, the writing here is in a different language, so I cannot read it. But I thought if I did something like that. Still needs something. Needs a pop there. It almost needs built up. So you have to figure out a way to glue that. That may be a little of a challenge to glue on. And then I could be adding some metal onto this. This might be interesting. This is the old. In fact, I like that because that's one of those washers that got the all rusted. I like that. And then I'm thinking for this, when it's done, some of the twine. So let's start with that. And I'm liking all the oldness. It's like a picture into the past. That'd be a nice title because that's like a picture frame. So let's kind of go with that. Let's see where this takes us here. And it will take some time to get a lot of these adhered to this canvas. But that's part of what we're doing here. So I'm going to cover this whole corner in this heavier, it's a soft gel, but it's not a light gel. And this one, I'm going to deliberately pull these little threads out. Everything about this is kind of old, tattered, and you can even glue these down to the side. All right, then I think I'll do the paper next. These are really fun to do. They're conversation pieces. They're fun. They're not only fun to do, but they're great, as I said, conversation pieces. So I'm going to bring again my paper and then again having something, put my hand underneath. So this may take some work getting down. This is probably going to span for me a couple days so everything can glue down. I'm going to kind of turn that to the side. So did we want, I think I like having the frame under. Okay. I like that. So I have quite a bit of the gel on my canvas already. I do need a lot more because this is a heavier piece. And another thing that helps with this is the final finish I put on this will be one that will really help keep everything secure. All right, now this piece, I may have to, because I like it's like a veil. I like this, so let's see what we can do. I may have to come in with some spray and put it under the little pieces here. So, this is just going to take a couple layers, and I'm not opposed to having some of this stick up. And then, of course, you would ensure when you sell this that it's more of a fragile piece. I have some pieces of art that are sculpture pieces. Now, while that's drying for the second, I'm going to go get a piece that is I have how to make this on my course site for a very good price. But this is a sculpture. It's a canvas with a pattern background, another canvas with pieces, and these are glued on here. They're not going anywhere, but they're pieces that are sticking up. So it's very beautiful. Fragile if you were to mail it, but I've even sold a piece like that before, and you just tell them it's fragile. You pack it up really well, but it's beautiful. So I think this is working. Oops. This is going to glue down very well. And this piece, let's see. I like that this is an old piece. Old washer. I don't know, I kind of like that right there. So this is going to take a while to dry, and it's going to take a couple layers, and then I might have to go in for some glue. But I like that it's simple, and at this point, I'm going to let this all dry. All right, I'm not going to probably get through all of these, but I am going to do a large one. I may spread these out into 3. I'll do the large one for right now, but this is how I do the twine. It's glued on. So let's look at this larger one. And what this was, and I did it ahead of time, is it's a 12 by 24. It's a piece of paper that I painted, watercolor paper I painted with acrylic paints, and I glued that down already ahead of time to save time. Very beautiful, like this. Spray painted some lettering onto it, and then I am going to finish it up with some stuff here. So this, I thought this would be great. That's like a gold medallion that I made. Some of these little tickets would be kind of cute. You have to kind of look at, when I painted the painting, I did not have in my mind, but the lettering here could be maybe lettering to a movie, the words of a movie. The movie could be something, like with an ancient time movie. So maybe I'll look in my secret box and see if I have anything that looks like a ticket. And I don't know, maybe we'll go down that path and see. There's a ticket. Looks kind of, here's another ticket. And the same ticket. Maybe some pages from that's cute. That's a math page. Calendar. Dictionary pages. I mean, I could go through and read some of these. The Girl Scouts Triumph. Strategies. Now, if I found a movie that had a story that had the word strategy in it, this is a map. So maybe, I don't like the colors, so let's don't go down that road. I don't know what language this is, but that's a different language. Here's another ticket. So maybe I'll swap out the tickets. All right, so maybe if I could think of my movies, I could think of a movie where I got a theme going here, but that's okay, because many times the burden of the end story is on the person who buys the painting. Not the burden, but the excitement of the end painting. I like that. I love the lettering. I know it's in another one, but you could sell these as a grouping to somebody. So it doesn't hurt to have some of the same things in one painting as you have in another. So the one person who bought the one with the dots might pick this one up as well. This is interesting. This is a piece of paper where I just did designs on. And I kept it. So I kind of like this in here. And I like things ripped. I know that I could cut this out. And if you're someone who enjoys a more structured painting, more structured stuff, that's what you might do. So here's an idea. Do I want some more of a, what is the word I'm looking for? Not contrast, but, ooh, that's pretty. That's not tissue, that's paper. But I could still crinkle and get it to lie flat. That's pretty. I'm looking for more of a layering processor, so it's not all just flat. I didn't even pull a lot out. I mean, I could have had a lot of stuff out here, and could have had some fun. So let's see what we have here. Got a lot of little papers here. Got my tickets. I'm liking this. I don't want to cover up the back as much, so maybe make this a smaller piece. So I still have something that gives it some texture. I don't know where this string's going to go. So let's start with this. I'm almost out of my gel, so I may have to go to another one, but really glob this down. Okay. And again, this is going to take probably several times where I'm going to have to go in and layer this to get it to be completely flat. Even though it's flat and I didn't keep it raised, there is a textured feeling to this. So there's a start. New jar. I mean, I could, and I will, I think, splatter, but I don't want to do that too quickly because that'll have to dry. But at some point, I could splatter. There's already a lot of gel down, and I'm letting some of the crinkles in this happen. I'm loving the contrast of this white and black against that black area. Not that great. Let's see, I do like the writing, but I'm not sure if I'm using both or just one. Ooh, I like kind of the jiggy-jaggy look. It's almost like a story. I like it up and down. You know, while you're watching me, I mean, I've watched YouTube videos and I've seen artists, you know, when you're looking at this from a different view, you're going to see it differently. And I've seen artists put something down and I'll say, no, don't put it there, put it someplace else. Because you're seeing this from even a different view than I am, which can happen. So, and I can see these even on a wall as a gallery wall. And we're going to have to come up with wonderful about watching this. And I haven't come up with the title. You're going to have to help me come up with the title because it's almost like you can personalize it, being told of things into the lettering down here and the words in here and the tickets that are, you know, going on in the story here. So I almost have like a fan approach. You know what would be cute with this would be tying like the ticket. Trying to stay in frame here. That's kind of cute. I don't know if this fits in. I like it because I like the color there. But it's almost like, what is the story that's being told with this painting? With the movie tickets. Led Zeppelin. This is 1952. Like, what happened that year? What movie could this portray? Would I have this? Does this even fit with this now? And if I did the ticket going like that, if I use the string, I'm going to go with this. And I'm going to adhere. Let them go freely where they want. Okay, now this is going to take some drying to get these to stay down like that. So this is kind of where we're at, and I'm going to make sure that that gets adhered down. But I also wanted to add I almost felt like I needed one more color over here. So let me this is definitely going to take a while to dry. So let me take some of this metallic paint. Oh, I kind of like that blob right there. Just something fun about it. All right. We're going to let this dry. I'm going to have to definitely come back in on this. I'm loving that blob right there. May do more splatter. But this is kind of where we're at on these. I'm going to let all these dry. It'll be seamless to you. But we'll come back in and see about the string, see about what we need to do to adhere some of these other items down a little bit more secure than what they are right now. But before I go, I don't know. I'll have to do some research to see if the title of this will bring me to put anything else in the painting. I don't know. We will see. All right, we're at the point where a lot of this has dried, and I have to make a decision. I'm going to go in and attach, reattach or more firmly secure. But they're down very well. The amount that I have sticking up is the amount that I actually would love to have, because it is a piece that has some character. So it's going to be a little fragile. I need to ensure that the paper is more secure. But even a little bit that this is sticking up is going to be a part of it, as long as I put a good coating varnish on the paintings. They're going to end up being good. So for this one, I'm looking at adding the string or some sort of rope, and I'm thinking I might like the black because it's just adding to it. So I need to take a look at the string here, and this is a little bit more work adding this. So let me find the end of this, and I'll show you how I start to go about doing this. I'm sure there's a couple ways to do this, but I'm just going to start, and I'll paint this out. I should have painted this before. So let's kind of get an idea. I'm probably going to want this. I wonder if I did it that's kind of pretty. Instead of straight across at an angle. That might be bad. That might be nice. So I'm going to take the glue gun and I'm going to go ahead and put some of the hot glue down and adhere a tail of the string or rope or whatever it is that you're going to do. And it dries pretty fast. And that's the start. And then I'm going to wrap this around, and where I come up here, I'm going to go ahead and put some more of the glue. So I'm just adhering. And I'm going to have this very loose, nothing of any, it's going to be messy. And I'll decide how much I want. I've hit a point here where I've got which is okay. So what I'm going to do when I hit this, which is perfect, is to go ahead and cut that off and make sure that this is adhered. So I'm going to go ahead and put more glue here. So this side is pretty well, but it's going to be pretty well secure. Okay. So I'll let that dry. So this is about where we are on this piece here. It's like a 12 by 12. All right, so let's take a look at this little small one. Is maybe like a 10 by 10. And this is where we did the tie back bead, and I have some more areas where I need to repair and put some more gel medium underneath it. But we're going to decide what we want to do with that. And there, I kind of am liking this, more of a rough, thicker. In fact, let's see. That white or cream, I'm wondering if we intertwine two of these together and did something like, I don't know, a bow of some sort. Yeah, that's pretty. So let's see if we can figure out how to adhere these. Yeah. Let's scoot that up. So definitely this is going to be a more fragile piece when you ship it, because you want this look of the bow to be loose, but you want it secure. So let's go ahead on the back and do some glue. And I may, since we already know where we want it, glue that part of the bow down. Alright, so I'm going to have to let that dry. And yes, I did. I hot glued it to the table. So we gotta not do that again. But I said before, I'm a messy. So right now we have, that's pretty dry now, but I'm really enjoying this little very feminine piece. It's kind of the gray with the beiges and the bow, and we'll work on securing the bow a little bit more. Let me bring this piece over. I wanted to keep them all out here so you can kind of keep looking at them. This is a piece that we had, the background was black. This was a handmade piece of watercolor paper. It's really unusual, beautiful. And there's where we added a piece of the glue, the hot glue. Still need to work on that. On this piece, I'm going to be a little more happier if that background, where it's the black gesso, is painted. So I'm going to do that right now. But I'm going to take a look to see, do I want, this whole series could be done with some of the cording or string, or because it's looking pretty. You know what really looked pretty on this one is a string of pearls. I don't have that, but that would be beautiful. But for the purpose of this video, let's see what that's even pretty. I like the black and white. So let's take a look at, again, would we want a bow of some sort? Would we want something, I don't know, a bow over here? I don't want to take away from the interest on the other side, so I may not. No, I don't like the bow. I think what I will like is just the wrapping, but I do like the two colors together. So let's go ahead, add some of the glue. And you have to tell, if you sell these, you have to tell your client that, there is some of the glue. It's gonna, be a tad messy. I'm liking it kind of like this again. Almost like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stop right there because it's almost like on the musical staff, there's 5 lines, and I kind of like that idea. So I'm enjoying this. So let's cut this and glue this down. You can be neater than I'm being, by all means, but I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the look of this. So on this one, just to finish it off, I want to paint some more black. I want to go back and touch up the black on here. I'm going to go ahead and just add some glue to these to secure the rest of these down. And I'm going to put that down flat on the table. And I will add some adherence on the front. And I'm going to let that dry and then work on the rest of adhering these. All right, so far we've got 3 of these. In fact, while that's drying on the back, we go ahead and touch up the black. I'm going to position this so you can see this a little bit better. Okay. The reason why I like the black gesso is it is more of a very matte. This is a very matte looking finish. work on adhering. The glue in the back is done, dry. So let me go ahead and work on, since this was a little heavier, let me just adhere a couple of these pieces with the hot glue. And it's okay if some of the string gets adhered. Okay. I'm really enjoying these pieces. And let's see how that dries and see if there's any more touching up we need to do. But this tissue paper became very flat in here, and it's a different texture, of course, than the paper. And then the leaf in here, you can just still see the veins. And then the glue is raised, so you've got a lot of texture on top of texture with this beautiful flat in the back. So I'm enjoying all these. So let's let that dry. I think on this I'm going to go ahead and put some of the glue underneath some of these. All right. The color of this is it's the Titan Buff. It's not cream, but it's Titan Buff. It's all pretty well adhered. All right, now to our big piece. As I was saying, the Led Zeppelin. What I did offline is I added a piece of music. It's still drying. And I also added it with some dirty water to continue the old-time look. So this piece just needs a lot more of the areas just secured and another grouping of drying, another time of drying. But I'm liking, since we're going to stay with this theme, I am liking the black. So let me go ahead and do a black line about there. Okay. Loose. All right. So it's a long piece, so I'm trying to make sure it all gets in the frame here. Let me glue that. Let me glue them all down. Okay, while that's drying, but what we've got on here, again, let me get the cruxes. Remember, we put it's like a ticket with the strings on it. We threw some paint at it, put a couple of the old time, like movie tickets. Again, this is a whole layer of watercolor paper where I've ripped the edges, and several layers of different, there's tissue paper, there's handmade papers. So I'm going to go in and just adhere some more of these areas myself, and we'll get back to finishing them off. All right, I went ahead and glued the rest of the pieces down, if anything was loose, with the gloss gel. Then I went through and touched up any paint areas. For instance, I went ahead and finished the back. Remember, the back was pink on this one. And then I decided by looking at them what matte or varnish or clear glaze or what I wanted to finish them off with. So the first thing I did was I signed them, and I don't want to say always, but many times use a Sharpie, because the Sharpies are really good for signing acrylic paintings. Then I used, I have two. This is a clear protective matte finish, and on top of this I did another matte varnish. But this is a matte finish, Rust-Oleum, and then I did a triple clear glaze Krylon finish. And on top of that, to give it one last varnish, I used a Carmar varnish that just gave it its last. It's a non-yellowing, acid-free last varnish to keep any dirt off of them. So this one got the more of a triple glaze on it. Everything is adhered. The strings are pretty much adhered down. This one got the clear glaze. This got the matte. I thought that black looked really beautiful with the matte. And then the large one got the matte, and I might call that Stairwell to Heaven, unless you come up with a name for that one. Like I said, it's got the music on it. It's got the Led Zeppelin. It's just got the feeling of that era. I wanted to show you also this one. I did not make this one during this video, but this is another example of a painting where the background was a very mottled background. It's got, again, one of those beads that was made just like this one right here with the tie-back. It's got a piece of tie-back. Got different pieces of mixed media in here. This is the modeling clay. So, I mean, there's a lot you could do. I mean, if you want me to do more of these, I can. I wanted to keep this more near the neutrals. Maybe I tipped into adding more color. So I hope that, the person that asked me to do this more neutrals is okay with me adding color. If not, I can keep going. But I wanted to show you the finished paintings. They turned out really beautiful. And I can see these even on a wall as a gallery wall. And what's so wonderful about these is this one was a good example. The Stairwell to Heaven was, you can personalize it and add things into these collage type paintings and painting sculptures that make it very unique and very much what the client is asking for or what you want to have in your paintings. I think I mentioned this, one of the paintings I sent off about a month ago it was to a pilot for his office, and it had um, a flight sheet flight sheet in it. And I ripped it up and put it in the painting. Even after the painting was done, I told him I was going to add a few extra little surprises in there because it just personalized it for the person that wanted the painting. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any titles for these, feel free to share them with me. I'd love to hear your ideas. If there's anything else, if you want me to help you find where I did the tie-back little beads, any of these other things that I've done in this painting, certainly let me know. But I hope you enjoyed this. I had fun doing this for you. And I learn every time I do something how different things react to each other. So, along with doing these for you, there's things that I still learn as an artist. So, hope you give me a thumbs up if this was helpful at all, or if you liked it, or if you want to just encourage me. So, thank you so much for joining me, and I appreciate it very much.